Shannon Titus, and today I'm going to be talking to you about emotions. Emotions are one of many factors that define an individual. Some individuals are stoic and rarely ever show emotion, whether positive or negative, and others are termed sensitive, which means that they express too much emotion in the opinions of others. Society often frowns upon expression of negative emotions such as embarrassment, shame, and guilt. But what if holding in and suppressing emotions was proven to harm your health? Would it then be okay in society's eyes for people to express emotion, both positive and negative? And would it be encouraged to let out what you're feeling instead of bottling it up? I recently did some research on negative emotions and how they affect individuals. Throughout this presentation, I will be comparing and contrasting two articles that were written about negative emotions and how they affect individuals. The first article was a popular press article, and it focused on how emotions are construed as negative outbursts, but in reality, expression of emotion is essential and is thought of as a stress reliever and brings positive energy to individuals. This article focused on 13 emotions, which in society's eyes are bad or negative emotions. Some of the emotions discussed were anger, shame, jealousy, guilt, envy, and embarrassment. The key message of the article was that emotions are unavoidable and both positive and negative emotions need to be expressed to keep individuals healthy both mentally and physically. The popular press article provided great information and backed up all of the points with sufficient detail. This quote from Hudson, the author of the popular press article, demonstrates the importance of negative emotional outbursts because in the end they bring positive outcomes to individuals. It is also proven to keep people healthy and alive because if individuals suppress negative emotions, for lack of better words, it eats them up inside, meaning that it is killing them internally and progressively deteriorating their health. If a person lets negative emotions like shame and guilt build up inside of them, it can be detrimental to their health and lead to crises like mental breakdowns and anxiety. On the other hand, the academic journal article I researched focused on 3 emotions compared to the 13 emotions of the popular press article. Because this article only focused on 3 emotions, the author was able to go into much more detail compared to the author of the popular press article. This article discussed how 3 emotions can all be interconnected based on the mannerisms people use to express those emotions. The whole theme of the article was a comparison of 1 positive emotion, amusement, to 2 negative emotions, embarrassment and shame. This quote behind me is by Keltner, the author of the academic journal article. After reading this quote, it is easily seen that the author uses much more complicated and sophisticated terminology to the quote pulled from the popular press article shown previously in this presentation. The terminology used in the academic journal article requires the reader to have an understanding on psychology and emotions to understand what the article is discussing. These 2 articles target different audiences. Hudson, the author of the popular press article, is not a certified psychologist and therefore can't be deemed an expert on the topic at hand. Because he isn't an expert, he uses language that is easier for common people without a background in psychology to understand. On the contrary, Keltner, the author of the academic journal article, was a certified psychologist, and therefore this article was written for people with a background in psychology. Keltner uses a lot more scientific language throughout his article because of his previous experience and expertise on the topic, which makes it harder for people without a background in psychology to understand and interpret the article. All in all, although these articles discuss the same topic, they are written for 2 totally diverse audiences. Another indicator when reviewing an article and determining if it is written for a specific audience is interpreting the title. The title of the popular press article, Beyond Happiness, the Upside of Feeling Down, lets the reader know that it will be easy to grasp the main idea of the article. In contrast, the title of the academic journal article, Signs of Appeasement, Evidence for the Distinct Display of Embarrassment, Amusement, and Shame, lets the reader know this article will be more difficult to understand due to the lengthy title and wordy title. This title also lets the reader know that it may be more complicated to interpret and grasp the main idea of the article. The detail in each of these articles vary dramatically. As stated earlier, the Popular Press article talked about 13 different emotions, so the author wasn't able to go into much detail because he didn't want to make the article horrifically long and intolerable to read by the common people the article is targeted for. However, the author of the Academic Journal article was able to go into significantly more detail than the author of the Popular Press article. This article was very vivid and only focused on 3 emotions, which allowed the author to go into extensive detail about each emotion. It is imperative that authors add sufficient detail to the article without making the article too long and incomprehensible. All in all, the Popular Press article did support the Academic Journal article. Both discussed the reaction of people when they feel embarrassed or shameful. Also, both articles describe the same mannerisms of people that are embarrassed. Although there are many differences between the 2 articles and how they are written, they had enough similarities to portray the same viewpoint. And that is why the Popular Press article supported the portrayal of embarrassment in the Academic Journal article. These are the references I used throughout my presentation. The first source was the Popular Press article written by Hudson, and the second source was the Academic Journal article written by Kellner. Are there any questions? Thank you.